Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Horrifying Games. My name is Daniel, and on this channel, I'll be reviewing horror games, both old and new, to tell you whether I think these games are scary or not. The Cabin Factory is a nice little indie horror game released back in December of 2024, just in time for Christmas. The way I found out about this game is not very exciting. I was bored. So terribly, deeply bored. I wanted to play a horror game, but by that point there was no game in my Steam library that could scratch the itch. So I checked the new releases, and this game popped up. It was insanely affordable, so even if I didn't like it, it wouldn't be a great loss. But lo and behold, I was pleasantly surprised when I played it. But just how scary can a small game like this be? Let's find out together in this horrifying review of Cabin Factory. In this game, you play as a cabin tester. What is a cabin tester, you ask? What, you don't know? It's pretty obvious, really. Basically, you're hired to go into manufactured cabins at a factory to inspect them and see if they're haunted or not. How do you tell if they're haunted or not, you ask? Well, if anything moves on its own, or you see something that would make any sane person lose their grip on reality, you get the f*** out of there and press the corresponding button so the cabin can be sent back to the depths of hell where it belongs. If, however, you see nothing out of the ordinary, you simply walk out with your pants still dry, and press the button to certify that the cabin's not haunted. If you get it right, a light will turn on the console, but if you mess up, you'll have to start all over again. As you can see, it's a pretty simple game loop, and one that had me hooked from the moment I played. This would honestly be a dream job for me in real life, so where do I send my application? I should also mention that this is a game in which you can die, and when you do, the lights on the console will reset. It can be pretty challenging to notice all the hauntings in the cabins. Some of them will be pretty obvious. While others will be much more subtle. What is that? What in God's name is that? Overall, Cabin Factory is a game that focuses on atmosphere over progression, and going into the cabin can be a pretty intense ordeal. The fact that they decided to use first-person camera view does nothing but enhance the immersion. Wear a set of headphones, turn off the lights, and it's almost like you're in there yourself. Yes, believe it or not, this game does have a story, besides you being a badass cabin tester. As you go inside the cabins, you will gradually uncover the tragic story of the family haunting this place. Sometimes you'll hear about it.
The brutal fire that burned a family alive took place in an isolated cabin in the woods. 2 bodies were found calcinated on Sunday evening after 3 hikers noticed a huge column of smoke and immediately called 911. When emergency crews arrived just minutes later, the flames were still burning. According to our sources, a family of 4 lived in the cabin, a mother, a father, and their 2 children. The police confirmed the bodies found on the scene belonged to the parents. The 2 children, a 10-year-old little girl and her 6-year-old brother, have not yet been found in the surrounding areas. The chief of the fire department announced the search operation will continue and said she has hopes of finding them alive. It is still unclear how the parents got trapped inside their own cabin, but the police have found clues that may indicate the fire was intentional. A criminal investigation is ongoing.
And sometimes, you'll even live through it. I mean, it's not the greatest and most tear-jerking story ever told, but I like that it adds more depth to the game, other than simple mindless gameplay loops. This enhances the scare factor, as it gives the game more personality, and it even makes you care about some of the characters involved. I believe love is important for horror to be effective. No, not just that kind of love. By love, I mean seeing and relating to other people. For example, who are you going to fret over more if something horrible were to happen to them? Some ass who cut in line in front of you? Or your sweet Nana, who makes you delicious pancakes for breakfast anytime you visit? In that sense, I believe it's a good move to have a story to tell in a game like this.
And he will not be happy when he hears you abandoned him. Leave and abandon your poor mother.
Visuals and sound in this game are adequate. They're not the most memorable or artistic, but they're quite effective to relay an unsettling atmosphere that will keep you constantly tense. As I mentioned before, this is a horror game that is all about atmosphere, and though it relies on some very stereotypical horror tropes like a strong wind blowing outside the house, or creepy toys lying around a room, I believe that this game's use of creepy imagery, combined with looming tension provided by the sound design, can make up some pretty horrifying moments throughout. And that is Cabin Factory. Is it the greatest horror game ever made? Not even close. But is this game scary? My final verdict is that Cabin Factory is horrifying. I had a great time and a lot of fun with this game. It's very short, and once you've discovered all the hauntings in the cabins, there really isn't much replay value here, unless you want to invite some friends over and have them try it out for themselves. However, for its affordable price and production value, I think this is a very solid horror game, and one that provides some good scares, for as short-lived as they were. What is that? What in God's name is that?